We just passed mile marker. Sorry, we just passed mile marker number 12 on Highway 70 from I-15 in 2001. Actually, it was the year 2000, just before 2001, December, the second week of Christmas vacation. Ross Bellardo, a very good friend of mine from high school, and I drove out to visit my mom and my sister in the town Rifle, Colorado, that I told you about earlier today. This is March 5th still, the night of it. When we were on our way home, shortly before New Year's Eve, we were driving and got to mile marker number 12 on Highway 70 when the passenger side front wheel bearing on the van that we were driving went out. So we broke down there at mile marker number 12. I remember it only because we walked from mile marker number 12, I think, to mile marker number 13 before somebody came and picked us up and took Ross into town to a Fort Stockton, or Fort Stockton, I think, which is about 13 miles down the road here. So just basically at the 15 and the 70 interchange. And then I waited and I waited and I waited, and I thought for sure he would never return. And thank God a snowplow showed up and radioed in that to check and see if somebody had sent a tow truck. And then just after the snowplow arrived, a truck did come and pick us up and then drove us all the way to Beaver, Utah, which is about 40 miles south of the 15 and the 70 interchange. Maybe more like 30 miles south of the 15 and the 70 interchange. But that whole ordeal scared the jeebers out of me. Yet, at the same time, it was interesting because Ross got to see what hitchhiking was like. I got to see what breaking down and dealing with it was like. And they were so good as to that same night, it was probably 6 p.m. when we arrived, it was dark. They fixed it within an hour. We had gotten a hotel room because we thought we needed to stay for the whole night and have them work on it in the morning. But they fixed it, and by the time we had gotten ourselves ready to take a shower, we got a call at the motel room saying, "Hey, your van's done." So we went back to the office and got our money back and got back on the road and took off. And I think we stayed in Las Vegas that night rather than anywhere else. But that was my first faux pas in the driving world, in a 1975 Ford Econoline 150 that my grandfather owned. Luckily, today the only mishap in this particular 1989 Southwind motorhome was the built-in water filter underneath the sink. Either must have had issues with the ice when we were freezing, or just plain Jane is 25 years old and blew out physically, popped a hole in the side of it and poured water everywhere when I turned the water pump on this morning. Luckily it has a complete shut-off bypass valve on the very top of it, and I didn't notice it until after I cleaned the cabinet, but I popped that on and I didn't even have to do anything. No removing it, no bypassing it, no nothing. The lever itself bypassed its own cartridge and allowed the water to flow through, giving me back my sink and my shower and my toilet without any more mishap. Unfortunately, the generator, I think, needs new spark plugs because I did change the fuel filter on it and it still chug-a-lugs instead of runs properly. But it does the job. It'll run the microwave in pulsations, and it'll run the air conditioning, which I definitely don't need, in pulsations. So I'm not worried. It was a good day all in all, and the moon is so bright tonight. I'm running at, I think, 10 o'clock now, and I can still see all of the mountains and everything for about a mile around me. Absolutely beautiful. I wish that the pictures would show more, but you get what you get. Have a good evening. This will probably be the last video for this evening.